is up, our family? It is Ray. Welcome to Our World. So today, I just wanted to talk about semen retention and things of that nature. Things you might experience. I've already made a video previous to this, but I also want to just kind of build on that. I got a new camera. I'm using my phone, my other phone, as a webcam. So let me know if you guys like it. If not, also let me know. I'm trying this whole like setup. It's crazy. If you were to see my setup, it looks a little funky, but it'll make do. Anyways, so I just wanted to talk about semen retention, and I need water. But anyways, so I've been on semen retention for I've been on a streak for like 600 days, something like that. I've been doing this practice. I've been living this lifestyle, doing this practice for about, I would say, almost 3 years. I've fallen short like once. Yeah, once. I definitely fell short in the beginning a couple times, but like once I started getting long streaks and things of sorts, I never really started falling short except for really one time that can come to my mind. So I just wanted to kind of build on that. Oh my goodness, why my chains acting like this? It's kind of bothering me. So I've gotten used to this lifestyle, and I've kind of adapted and basically integrated certain things about it and basically become a way better version of myself. And I have done a lot of things in my life that I don't think I would have been able to achieve without being on this practice, without living this lifestyle. Okay. One thing I do want to get out the way though is, if you're just starting, bro, I understand things get difficult. The lustful spirits get in the way. I get you. The lustful thoughts get in the way, but don't get uncomfortable with anything. Don't get uncomfortable with having these lustful thoughts. The only thing that I would recommend is to not feed into it. I would recommend, sit with the lust and be like, okay, so this is how I feel. I'm lusting because X, Y, and Z, and just kind of sit with it and let that fuel whatever you're doing at the moment. Whether you're at the gym, whether you're alone, whether you're reading a book, whether you're working on your homework, whether you're working on your car, you can. It's transmuting your sexual energy. I've talked about this before on my previous video. Um, yeah, transmutation of energies, right? So basically, bro, I just got off work, so my hair is a little funky. I definitely look like I just got off work. But so back to it. So I've really gotten to know myself really, really well while practicing this and living this lifestyle. And the reason I can say that is because what I just told you guys. I would feel a certain emotion and rather than running away from it. Because if you run away from your thoughts, they're only going to come back stronger and worse. When you tell yourself to not think about the color red, it's like, how can you not think about the color red? Or think about, corn. I was like, oh, I want to touch myself. When you continuously, oh, I don't, oh, I can't think like this. No, just be like, you know what? This is how I feel. Sit with it. Take a deep breath and be like, I want to do this, but instead of doing this, I'm going to do that. And it kind of trains your brain to transmute your energy pretty naturally. And I've gotten really, really good at it, I would say. Within these last couple days, I've been a lot more. I can tell that my testosterone has definitely gotten higher due to me wanting to be more sexually active. And I would transmute that energy into the gym, or I would transmute it into, working on my brand or working on my channel, things of that nature. I got this phone, so it's kind of trippy. It's messing with me because my computer is right here, my phone's sitting right on top of it. So I kind of don't know where to look, but I'm gonna make it work, I guess. But as I was saying, right? Hold up, maybe a little lower. Nah. Anyways, like I said, bear with me. I'm trying to take this a little bit more serious and obviously, get a whole setup or whatever. But, back to the whole semen retention thing. When I first started this journey, and it really is a journey, bro. You really do understand a lot about yourself and a lot about the people around you. And simply for the reason because it's your journey. Think about it like that. If you and your friend take two different cars to the same place, the journey is still going to be different. Different roads, different lights, different cars are on the way, things of that nature. So just, even though a lot of people are on semen retention, your journey will never be like theirs. And the only thing, obviously, you guys can relate to each other and relate to other people within this community, but it will never be the same because you're a whole different person than they are. So your urges might be different than their urges, and we're all different people. So with one common goal, though, to become better men. So back to it, right? As I was saying, I really got to learn a lot about myself, and I really got to understand certain things about me that I don't think I would have ever gotten to really know about myself until I started this. So when I first started, I was super like horny. That's just the best way to put it. I wanted to be super sexually active, and I kind of just, here's the thing, right? If you're not doing anything with your life, it's gonna fucking suck. Like, that's just the best way to put it. Because if you're not doing anything with your life, obviously you're gonna go into the corn websites and you're gonna touch yourself. But if you're always busy and always have something to do, and you don't have enough time to, search a video, make sure that nobody's around, things of that nature. Because it takes a lot of energy to get to goon, to be a depleted coomer. It takes a lot of energy. If you put that same energy into something else, you can grow so much better. See, look, I'm telling you, it's like my face is right there and right there, so I don't know what to look at. But as I was saying, it takes a lot of energy to waste your seed. Think about all the things you have to do in preparation to bust a nut. If you took that same preparation and put it into something else, and that same energy and put it into yourself in a positive manner, you can come out so much. You can come out way better, I guess is the better way to put it. You can just come out on top of yourself, right? Because here's the thing, it'll always be a me versus me with this journey. You're never in competition with anybody other than yourself. Now, on the flip side, right? Because we're all living within ourselves. If a guy from the outside that doesn't know what's going on within you, he's going to be in competition with you. And that's just the way life is, that's just a man's nature. A lot of guys get insecure. A lot of guys are like, oh, what does this guy have that I don't, If you ever look at a fat guy and he has a beautiful woman, a lot of guys are like, bro, this guy's fat. What does she see in him? It's kind of the same thing. This guy will see your energy. He'll sense something. A lot of people, they just sense something within you. And they're like, what does this person have that I don't have? And it's your seed, obviously. So, like I said, if you can transmute your energy leading up to, depleting yourself, if you can take all that energy and put it into something else, like the gym, or your mental health, or your business, or your career, or school, or whatever you got going on at the moment, you can surpass, and you can surpass so many more levels quicker than being a gooner, right? Because it's a cycle. You goon, you feel like shit, and then you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do it again. And then you feel really good about yourself, and then you goon, and you feel like shit, and then you feel really good about yourself, and then it's like, it's just a never-ending cycle, and the only person that can never break the cycle is you, right? Bro, my soundboard just fell. Oh my goodness, I just put it back up. But as I was saying, yeah, transmute your energy, bro. A lot of people are gonna hate you because they're not on your journey, and a lot of people don't understand that. This society is so used to depleting themselves of everything. If you ever look at, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and if you look at certain people in their eyes, you can tell that they have like, their soul is drained. They're spiritually, they're on their last limb. They're like dying for help. They're asking for help. They're dying and asking for help. There you go. And a lot of people, they put their ego in the way of things, so they won't ever ask for help. And if you try to offer them help, they won't ever really take it because, oh, who are you to tell me what to do with my life? So it's something I've learned. I really try to help out certain people within on this journey, while I've been on this journey, I've tried to help them out, and it never really ever worked for me because they don't understand where I'm coming from, because my headspace is in a way different headspace than theirs. I'm not trying to say I'm above them. It's just that I'm on a whole different plane, if that makes any sense, you know. Certain people, and it baffles me, but at the same time, you know, we're all so unique and all of us are all so different that nobody can ever really um sometimes nobody can ever really relate to you because you're you. You know, your experiences are way different than everybody else's. The way you think is way different than everybody else's. So sometimes when you try to be relatable to certain people, it just comes off as egotistical to them. Oh, what does this guy know about my life? Oh, what does this guy know about X, Y, and Z? Who is he to tell me what to do? You know, I really, like I said, I really try to help a lot of people on this journey. You know, I had, cause like I said, I used to be a coomer, bro. I've been on this journey for 3 years, and I don't ever see myself going back to that lifestyle. Like thinking about it makes me disgusted. So, you know, when I'd hang around certain people, like this one friend of mine, he's not really a friend too. And that's something you really lose is a lot of friends. Like your circle ends up being a dot. It's just you and God at the end of the day. You know, I lost a lot of friends, and I say for the better because why would I ever want to be around someone who doesn't think like I do? And with my previous point, no one ever really thinks like you do. So at the end of the day, you really are going to be by yourself for a while until you can level up to a certain point where you are around like-minded people, if that makes any sense. Because this is the way I think about it. I have a whiteboard behind me. See, this mirror is messing me up. I have a whiteboard behind me. I should start using it. I might be using it, but we'll just use my hands, right? There's like, this is where people are, you know, low vibrational people. And then this is where the high vibrational people are. Now you see that whole distance, that whole like from here to here. You see that whole like look at that, bro. That's like from my clavicle to my forehead. You know that all that space, right? I like to call it no man's land. And the reason I say that is because it's no man's land. When you go from a low vibration and you're picking up to high vibration, higher vibration, look at that. Look at all that space you have to clear up, you have to get through in order to get to a higher vibration. So a lot of people aren't working on themselves in order for them to become higher vibrational people. You know, they don't give a fuck about vibrations. I remember one time I told this guy, I was all, I was like, "Do you believe your hair is an antenna to the world?" To you know, he looked at me like I was crazy and ignored me. I was like, "All right then, well I will never try to talk to him about anything of this nature ever again." And I won't. So that's what I'm saying. When you're a low vibrational person, in order to get to a high vibration, you have to go through no man's land. And that's where no man is. Because nobody's really trying to get to where you're going. You know, like, for example, right? A lot of people want to be, for like, career wise. You know, some people want to be doctors, some people want to be lawyers, some people want to be entrepreneurs. Every single one of that is a different road and a different path taken. So it's kind of the same thing with vibrations, I'd like to think. You know, obviously, once you're around a higher vibrational person, you guys can bond on certain aspects within each other, but the careers are way different, and that's the same thing with vibrations. Your vibration will be way different than that person's vibration, but since you guys are both high vibrating people, you guys can get along, you guys can interact on a more positive note, I guess is a better way to put it. And that's something that semen retention, that's one of the things semen retention boosts for you, I would say. You can go from here to here really, really, not really fast, but a lot more quicker than being a coomer. If you're a depleted coomer, bro, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna stay down here, down here, down here, and then once you decide you're tired of it and you start taking initiative, ding, 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 and then doop, 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 and it just the jumps become bigger and bigger and bigger. And once you surpass this threshold, here's the thing though, there will always be a higher vibration. That's what's crazy. That's why this journey is never ending, because once you get to your higher vibration, there's a higher vibration than that. There's a higher vibration than that one. It's like it's like a game of life. This life that we live is literally a game. It's a never-ending game of levels. New levels, new devils, you feel me? I remember when I was first starting, my problems that I had back then versus than I have right now were way different. Simply because I'm on a whole new level. You know, back then I had issues with confidence, with my way of thinking, with my emotions. I was going through it all, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. And then now that I have taken every single level, right, and I'm climbing up the vibrational level system, if you will, those issues, I'm not saying that I'm not struggling in any of those categories, but it's like you look at things way differently, and then you can apply certain things in order for you to grow, if that makes any sense. And that's what this journey really is about. There's no end to it. That's the crazier part. There is no end to it, right? Because I've been single for 3 years, like I said, and I've had a lot of women throw themselves at me and try to talk to me, and certain girls will try to talk to me, and I talk to certain women, things of that nature, and obviously it never worked out because I'm still here, simply for the reason because my vibration was too high for them to handle. So they would do certain things and they'd live their life a way that I wouldn't want to be around that. So that's just what I'm saying. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. But yeah, like I said, I've been on this journey for a really long time, and I plan on to continue to be on this journey even when I do find my significant other. Um, you do become a lot closer to God. He really is. Abstinence, celibacy, semen retention, they all fall under the same category, but that is the quickest way to really get to your manifestations and to get to God. I feel so much more connected to Him. I have felt so much more connected to Him on this journey than when I wasn't, because I have life force inside of me. A little drop of my semen will bring a baby. If it finds an egg, it will create a baby. So if you retain this seed within yourself, your body is using it like fuel, like a car, like gas, but you'll never run out of gas in this car that you're in. You can never really run out of gas or energy. Like, for example, last night I didn't sleep much. I slept probably 4 hours, super tired, right? And I went to worked the full 8 hours pretty easily. I'm not gonna lie. I never really got tired. I just got off work. I'm really not that tired. I'm gonna go hit the gym, and after the gym, I got more things to do after that. And I know that I have enough energy in my body to finish my tasks for the day, if that makes any sense. But yeah, this video definitely is longer than I anticipated, but just kind of wanted to talk about semen retention a little bit, give you guys just wanted to make a video for today. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. My name is Ray. Welcome to our family. Join the R family. It is our family, baby. It is. So yeah, take care of yourself. Go read a book, read a Bible. Don't touch yourself, bro. Go hit the gym. If you're fat, go hit the gym. Put down the Jack in the Box. Put down the McDonald's. Get off the video games. And I be playing video games too, but after a couple rounds or two, my time has already been wasted enough. Time is something, it's crazy because time is only a human construct. It's like if you're doing the right things, you will never run out of time. But if you're doing the wrong things, you already ran out of time. Think about that. If I put an hour, 3 hours every day into the video game, what am I gaining out of that? Nothing. But if I put 1 hour, 3 hours every day into a new skill, over time you will become you will understand this skill so much better, and you will become a whole new person. And you can apply this in so many different ways. Instead of being on the game for an hour, you could go to the gym for an hour. And if you do that every day, right, that's 7 hours a week. That's 7 hours of exercise. And, Larry June has a line where small numbers add up. And that's the truth. It's the truth. If you save $50 every week, it's going to add up. It's going to add up. If you save $1 every day, it's going to add up. This society is so used to instant gratification that we really do got to trust the process. And this journey really makes you trust the process, bro. Because some people want the benefits like this, and it doesn't come like that. I remember, I remember when I first started, I had the benefits of it, and then after a while, the benefits were just kind of integrated into my life. And people say you flatline, you plateau, and I completely disagree. It's just more so it's testing you. God is testing you. Or you, if you initially did semen retention just to get the benefits, God is gonna be like, all right, I'll give you the benefits. Here's the benefits. You get the benefits for a month or two. He takes it away. No more benefits. Now what are you gonna do? Are you gonna goon again, or are you gonna trust the process and continue to retain your seed? So and then you can continue to have all these benefits. But but yeah, like I said, this video went longer than I anticipated. But like, comment, subscribe. Welcome to our family. Join our family. I love you. You love you. Go read a book. Go read the Bible. Go hit the gym, baby. Later.